Hey, it's AJ Mansour here to share again because I just hit yet another milestone with Profile by Sanford. I'm 6 weeks into my plan and I'm officially down more than 35 pounds. With guidance from my certified health coach, the assistance of their delicious foods and shakes, both my wife and I are just crushing it. And it's been super cool to do it together, supporting each other along the way. So if you're at all worried about the quarantine 15, or maybe you're just looking to make some healthy lifestyle choices, check out profileplan.com now for more information. That's profileplan.com.
Welcome to episode number 4 of Profiles in Health and Wellness. My name is Marnie Gellner. I'm with producer Eric Nordquist. And we are going to chat with someone that we both know, a friend of ours, an on-air personality at KFAN, but a lot of listeners maybe don't know about him personally. His name is AJ Mansour. He is on the phone right now with us. Mr. AJ, hello. Welcome to our podcast.
Thanks, Marnie. Nordo, good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, and we look forward to really digging deep. If you are not crying within the next 20 minutes, we have not done our jobs.
It's going to get emotional.
AJ, you are a husband, you're a dad, you're someone who works at this radio station. Can you kind of give us an idea of the person that you are, the family that you have, for the people who are listening to this podcast who've probably heard you and heard your voice and heard you on the morning show, maybe talk about the Vikings, read your work about the Vikings, but don't know who you are as a man?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned at the radio station, I do on-air stuff. I do podcast stuff. My main job is I'm the digital media director, so we handle all the websites and social media. But like you said, at home, I am a husband. I am a dad. I have 2 little boys. One is 5 years old. That's Mac, and he gives me a run for my money every single day. And then we have a 2-year-old who is just this gentle giant named Mason. So those 2 keep my hands full. My wife, Abby, and I have been going through the Profile program, and she keeps my to-do list full, so she keeps me busy as well. But I love what I do at the radio station, but I love being a husband. I love being a dad. I love raising kids, and that is part of what has brought me to you guys and to Profile, is to set that situation up a little better headed into the future.
Yeah, and you know, I'm asking somebody that I already know the answer to this question, but you know this, we work together day to day, is the industry we work in, my man, it's not necessarily conducive to a ton of physical activity. You're at your desk at your house right now, probably trying to keep our website fresh, waiting for updated news on such that we can put out there digitally. Otherwise, normally you're also here in the studio. All of that includes a ton of talking or typing, but a lot of sitting and not a lot of running around. I mean, we don't get all our steps in all the time, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're very mentally sharp, but when it comes to physical activity, whether it be me working on the computer, you guys in the studio, we don't get up and get out and get active as often. And a lot of times too, Nordo, Marnie, you can attest to this too. Our jobs put us in positions where people are offering us free food very often. And when food is free, the price is right. And I used to choose to indulge. And so the lack of movement, the excess of free things to eat, National Donut Day, celebrating things like that, that was my life for the past 10 years. And it caught up with me, that's for sure.
And what was it, AJ, that really drew you to Profile? You've heard my ads, you've heard Nordo's ads, you see Nordo on a daily basis. I see you on a weekly basis. You have Paul Fletcher in the building. There are several people that you knew and that you come in regular contact with who have been on Profile, and in my case, like 7 months. What was it that connected with you that finally made you go, okay, I'm doing this?
Yeah, I think I got to a point in my life where, summer was coming up and the boys were home from school. We were all quarantined. So we were spending a lot more time together, going on doing more activities in the yard and doing fun stuff with the kids, trying to keep them entertained. And I would catch myself, sucking wind all the time. I couldn't catch my breath. My knees were hurting because I was carrying, 40 extra pounds that my body didn't need to carry. And then you have those moments where you see yourself in the mirror and you say, hey, I could feel better. I could, enjoy the way I look a little bit better. And, again, each and every day when those boys wake up, I have thoughts about, hey, I want to be an active dad. I want to be an attentive dad. I don't want to be the dad that falls asleep on the couch at 3 p.m. because I have no energy and because I'm not taking care of myself. And so that kind of brought me to a point where I decided I wanted to make some changes. And then, you tap on your network, you think of the things that you have heard about and see people doing. And with the three of you, Fletcher, Marnie, and Nordo, it was, I'm seeing the success. I'm hearing about it on the radio, but at the same time, I'm witnessing it before my eyes. I'm seeing Nordo melt away. I'm seeing, you guys come in with your shakes and you guys talk about Profile and how it fits your lifestyle. It's helped you make and adjust some healthy lifestyle changes along the way. But then obviously you see the success too. And so that's what had me reach out to the people at Profile. Actually, I reached out to Nordo first and said, hey, tell me about Profile. Tell me, how does it work? Do you like it? What's the process been like for you? And he came back with rave reviews, and that was it. I mean, that had me sold. I was ready to do it. And, I'm, a couple months in right now, seeing great results, feeling great results. And honestly, anything I've ever done to watch my health or watch my weight in the past, I love this. It's enjoyable. I've seen success and they're setting me up for future success too. So it's a good match made in heaven, I think is what they call it.
Isn't it amazing? And, I learned this through the process of doing Profile, but you really, if for me, I compartmentalize things like day to day or in some cases meal to meal. So it's like, I can eat fast food this day. I'll do this tomorrow. You never do whatever it is that in grand scheme of things that you thought you would. And then you do it and you do it and you do it. And, indulging becomes the bad habit, which becomes the norm. And, I don't know how you've acclimated to it, but one of my favorite things about the Profile, the program itself, is it creates a routine that is very flexible in comparison to when working with our lifestyle. So, for me, it'd be like, oh, wow, I just did a radio show. I'm doing a podcast. I haven't eaten all day. Well, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to just smash a ton of food, feel awful, take a nap, all of those things. But being able to create a routine within our lifestyle has been such an easy transition. And that's been a biggest thing for me is kind of learning those eating habits, identifying them, and then changing them. I think Profile has been a huge help for that.
Oh, for sure. The way that the program is set up is up front. They're working with you to train you, to teach you, to open your eyes to maybe some of the habits that you had coming in, adjust some of those, put you on the right path, and then they release the reins a little bit and they let you have some more flexibility. And even from day one, you're still making yourself grocery store meals at certain points in your day. So you're not living on protein bars and shakes only. And I might mention the protein bars and shakes, they don't taste like protein bars and shakes. They taste like dessert, every single one of them. And they're healthy for you. They give you the sustenance, the energy, and the nutrients that you need to that I wasn't giving my body with the other food I was eating. And along that process, like you mentioned, Nordo, my eyes were open to, how much quantity-wise of food I was eating, how I would just sit down and crack open a bag of chips or something, and before you know it, the bag is half empty, and I'm sitting there like, oh boy, what do we got going on here? Those situations, but your body also transforms too. I remember, the first couple of days I felt some hunger pains, but your body transitions to what it actually needs. I think we had all pushed ourselves. I'll speak for myself, I guess. I had pushed myself to a point where my body needed the food that I was giving it because it was just so used to getting an abundance of food, the junky food. My stomach wouldn't feel good. My body wouldn't feel good with it, but it just became used to that. I'm to a point in the program now where I don't feel those hunger pains. I'm the quantity of what I'm eating is not necessarily as large, but the quality of it is. It's even better. So I'm putting good foods into my body. I'm seeing the results, and that transformation, both physically and mentally for me. I'm at a point now where I'm noticing that, and I'm seeing the benefits of it. And like you guys have both mentioned now, they're setting me up for success in the future because I know what the habits I fell into, the problems I had, and I'm able to correct them and almost instantaneously see the good and the benefits of it.
AJ, you mentioned that your wife, Abby, is doing this with you. And when I started on the first day of school, the day after Labor Day, that Tuesday, And my husband did sort of a modified version with me. For me, that was key because I don't know if I could have done it if I'd had somebody with a bag of Doritos snacking on the couch while I tried to have my roasted zucchini, especially when you are in the weight loss phase and you're hitting those first couple of weeks and you're just trying to get going and get into a rhythm. How valuable has it been for you that you're doing it along with your wife, Abby, and you two have the same sort of goals and routines right now?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, obviously, I had done some health stuff before where it was just me because it just wasn't conducive for my wife's lifestyle at the time. And I ended up making, 3 different meals for every meal. I would make the kids their mac and cheese or their kids' meal or whatever, kind of food that they would eat. I would make my healthy food, and then I would make something for my wife. And it just became almost a point of contention between us because there was more dishes to do. There was more time to commit to it. But doing this together has been a gigantic blessing for both of us. And I think it's kept us, truer to the plan. It's kept us focused. On days where I'm not feeling motivated, she's there to kind of say, give me a little kick in the pants if I need it, or just, to talk me in the right direction and lift me back up. And I can do the same for her. So if you have a friend, if you have a significant other or anybody that you can do this with, I would encourage you to explore that possibility, to get that accountability, to get that support along the way. And then, the way that Profile does it too is they have a coaching system that can offer some support too. And if there's a week where maybe your weight loss has plateaued, you're doing everything right, but for whatever reason this week it was minimal gains or minimal losses. And that's part of the cycle of this, and getting that knowledge from our coaches and getting the information and the suggestions and the activity ideas have been great for us to have those conversations, even during the point of or this time period of being quarantined. The virtual meetings with coaches have been great for that process. But yeah, I've enjoyed doing it with my wife. We both, I think, helped each other along the way, and it's been a wonderful process so far.
Have you been in a spot where you were tempted by the fruit of something prior to being on Profile? How have you handled that? Because everybody, it's one thing to, like, you start down, and I can say it for myself, like going to the gym, for instance. I'm the classic case of a guy, I'm going to go to the gym. So then I'm going to go to the gym every single day, and I am 100 miles an hour for, let's say, a month. Then I have to go out of town. I get just off my routine just momentarily. I'm out. I'm out of the gym. I'm done. It's over. I almost have to start over, and I regress immediately. Have you found yourself in a position, like many people do, where you're on the right track, but then there's that little carrot out there, which maybe it's a piece of pizza instead, but there's the temptation out there. Have you? And how did you deal with it?
Yeah, the little carrots or the little pieces of pizza are definitely in our life. Pieces of pizza is specifically one of those things. We still. I enjoy doing this with my wife to exemplify for our kids, some of the healthy things that we're eating as well. Our kids are very tough to get vegetables on their plates and get them to eat. But now that they see mom and dad doing it, at least they're being exposed to it. They know that it's something that you can eat. It's something that's available, and they're a little more adventurous there. But we do still get them pizza. They're still kids, and they eat chicken nuggets and a lot of these things that I would, pizza was my number one thing. Donuts every Friday. Bumpa, who's grandpa, my father-in-law, goes to get donuts basically for the entire neighborhood, but he gets a bunch for our family as well. And donuts and pizza were two of my vices. And so, what we've enjoyed doing is finding alternatives, and that's been part of the joy of, we're members of the Profile by Sanford Facebook group, where people are throwing out all these cool recipes that they're doing and things that fit the plan, but they let you spice up your routine a little bit and add a little bit more variety to your diet for those grocery store meals that you're cooking for yourself. So we'll use the Profile pizza crust. We'll throw some of the Profile barbecue sauce on there, and then we'll throw some chicken and mozzarella cheese on a light variety of mozzarella cheese, and we'll have a barbecue chicken pizza, and it's delicious. It fills us up. It gives us that little scratch that we need to kind of say, hey, I'm eating pizza, because you're eating pizza. It tastes good, but it's healthy. It's a slight variation on some of the things. You don't have the deep dish crust. You don't have, the sugary tomato sauce or whatever there. You do it right. You do it smart, and you can have fun with it too. That's, again, my wife loves hopping on Instagram, looking for the low carb recipes that would fit, popping into that Profile Facebook group to see what other people are doing. We're big coffee people. I posted recently to my social media, some of the we'll call them coffee hacks that we use to spice up. So we don't go get a super sugary caramel drink. We mix a caramel protein shake in with a couple shots of espresso, and it tastes delicious, and it gives us that satisfaction of having a sugary, great tasting caramel drink, but it's healthy for you as well. So that's kind of been the fun game that we've been able to have for this. And it's almost like a treasure hunt where you're looking for the next good recipe, the next cool, cauliflower or riced cauliflower is one of the cool things that we found that we add to our meals to kind of help us, add some veggies. But at the same time, we've had Chipotle kind of style bowls. We've had stir fry with the riced cauliflower. We've done a lot of fun things. So that's been an experience that we've been able to share as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because the perception is when you start on a diet or a weight loss program of some sort, the first thing you think about are all the limitations, right? You think about, oh man, look, I can't imagine how many things I'm not going to be able to eat. You kind of look at it from that perspective, but I think, and you named it, whether it's rice cauliflower, the additives, the unique nature, and as you get farther down the road, the recipes and all of those things continue to increase. This is not a prison sentence here. I mean, the creativity and the ability to expand is in some ways actually a lot of fun with once you start figuring out, I have all this food I can eat. It's not a limitation as much as I'm just eating different things. But the number of recipes and the expansion of working within the program itself is massive.
No doubt, and that comes with the knowledge that you gain along the way, but then also some of the opportunities in the products that Profile can offer too. We've done, summer's a great time. If you're looking to start a diet, summer is such a great time because there's so much fresh produce. You can grill.
Oh, yes.
We basically grill every night, and I've got a 15-pound pork shoulder in the fridge right now, getting ready that I'm going to smoke tomorrow. That'll last us probably the entirety of the summer because it's gigantic. But, having that and then having the ability to, I can't have maybe a pulled barbecue pork sandwich on a giant, bun, a brioche bun like I normally would. But we love to use the cauliflower rounds for hamburger buns or for, pulled pork buns. We've used the pizza crusts as a wrap to make like a chicken wrap. We've found different varieties of dressings that fit the plan that taste great. There's some sort of, I think it's called a crepini, but it's an egg cauliflower kind of crepey, like a crepe tortilla that you can make a chicken wrap with. So we do chicken Caesar wraps pretty often. I mean, there's a lot of different things in today's day and age because diet restrictions are trendy. Paying attention to what you eat is just something that people are paying more attention to nowadays. There's lots of companies that are coming up with different ways to give you the foods that you're used to eating, but they follow whatever restrictions you choose to follow. And most of those things, especially with this plan, are keeping my body healthy, making me feel better, and giving me variety for our meals.
And you know what? It really shows because you, my friend, have been shrinking before my very eyes. And I see you about once a week. And I feel like that is enough time for your body to have made changes. It's dramatic. And you haven't said any numbers yet, AJ. Go ahead and brag a little bit. How much are you down?
Wow, I am presently down what would be 38 pounds.
Whoa!
It's been, in the flick of a wrist. It's been pretty quick. It's been good. It's been solid. What we're doing just works. And, I don't know exactly. I set a goal, and at this point, I feel like I'm going to stick with it and continue past that goal a little bit. But it's, like we've all said, sure, we want to lose some weight to feel better about the way we look. But for me, it's the way I feel is of the utmost importance. I don't feel gross in the morning. I have bad knees. and whether I'm carrying the extra weight or whether I'm just not giving my body the nutrients that it needs to kind of combat some of that, that's gone away largely with a lot of this diet change and the way that I've just been able to change the nutrition that I'm putting into myself. And from there, you add in the exercise when you get to that phase, and you add in some activities and different things to kind of supplement you along the way. But it's been great. When you can kind of spout any of those numbers, those milestone numbers, whether it's 10 pounds, 15, 20, 30, 40, whatever, that feels good. And you can check that off your list and kind of put that notch under your belt, and it keeps you motivated. It keeps you good. My wife is almost down 20 pounds already too. I mean, it's been great for both of us so far.
Congratulations. That is fantastic, man. AJ Mansour has been our guest today.
Thank
Got to know him a little bit, and we applaud your accomplishments.
Yes.
Way to go, AJ.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Congrats to us all, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric Nordquist, congrats to you. Marnie Gellner, congrats to me. We all look better. We all feel better. And we thank Profile by Sanford for helping us with that.
Absolutely. Another podcast.
Our guest on this podcast today has been AJ Mansour, part of the iHeartMedia family. You can find this podcast, which hopefully you already have, on iHeartMedia as well.
It's the growing podcast empire. iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio app, which is free, by the way, which is sweet.
I have it downloaded, and I will continue to use.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric Nordquist, our producer. My name is Marnie Gellner. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Profiles in Health and Wellness.